Hi guys, thanks for stopping by my channel, whether this is your first time or if you've been here a time or two. I really appreciate it. My channel is all about the things that bring a spark to my life, and buying books is a huge It's been a couple months since I've showed you guys all the different books I've gotten, so it's time because I've been putting off putting them away, and there's huge piles all over my room because I'm like, no, I need to make a video, and finally I'm like, let's just do it because I need to get organized. And I started reading some of these books already and I'm like, dang it, now I'm getting behind on content. But I digress. Let's dive into what I've gotten. There's no rhyme or reason on how I'm going to go through these, just kind of where they are in my pile. But first off is Lightlark by Alex Astor. I got this for the book club that I co-host with my friend April, the Tales of Starlight Book Club. You can check that out on Instagram if you want to know more information. This was our May pick, and by the time you see this, I have already read this and we've already discussed it. So if you want to see how the discussion went, if you've already read this as well, go check that out. I'm sure we had a great time. So the next book I got is also a fantasy, and I purely got it out of the fact of being influenced by a couple of my friends, Kendall from Kendall Pages, that, and all of a sudden everybody was reading it and everyone was hyping this book up. But I saw that they loved it, so I had to get it, and that's A Feather So Black by Lyra Celine. I honestly didn't even look into too much what this book was about. I just saw that they absolutely loved it, so I bought it. The next two books, also fantasy. If you don't know this, fantasy is probably my favorite genre, and the more I read, the more I love it. I had read The Cruel Prince, and so I had to continue the series with The Wicked King and The Queen of Nothing. So I got both of these so I can find out what the heck happens after The Cruel Prince. I'm not gonna lie, I've seen many opinions on this book, and not all of them are great. Some people love it, some people hate it, and you don't know if you don't buy it and read it. I mean, we don't have to buy it. You can totally get it from the library. So I'm pretty excited for it because it's Regency meets fantasy. And if you don't know, I love Bridgerton and Regency era. I also love fantasy, if you weren't catching on to that yet. So I am very excited to see like what I think of it. Plus, I just love the cover. I have seen this book literally everywhere. I love that everybody is in their cowboy romance era. Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. I've heard my friends absolutely hype this book up. As a small town farm girl, and I grew up on a dairy farm, not Western, but grew up around horses, cows, you know, all of the farm animals. I love a good cowboy romance, so I'm very excited to get to this one, especially since so many of my friends have really enjoyed it too. It says she's off limits, but he's never been good at following rules. It's a small town brother's best friend romance. Say no more. Say no more. I can't wait to read it. The fact that I have not read this next book is crazy because I think everyone has read it at this point. But When in Rome by Sarah Adams is another book I snagged. And I'll be honest, to me, this book doesn't look like it would appeal to me. I have read one other Sarah Adams book and I liked it. It wasn't 5 stars, but I enjoyed it. But I can't bake, and that's just the vibes I'm getting from the cover. But everyone said how cute this is and that they love the next book, Practice Makes Perfect, which the cover is a girl with flowers and a tatted boy. I don't know if you know this, but my husband's tatted. I love flowers. I grow flowers. So I feel like I'm reading this purely so I can get to Practice Makes Perfect. However, I have heard people say they still really love this, and it's not not a lot about baking, which I like the idea of baking, but I'm not very good in the kitchen. To give you a little bit of the essence, if you haven't already heard about this book, it says, opposites certainly attract for a stranded pop star and a small town baker in this charming slice of romance. And that right there is all I really need. I really love opposites attract. My husband and I, that is us. I love a good enemies to lovers. Not saying that this is it, just opposites, but I think I'll enjoy it. So I'm excited to get into it, and especially so that I can move to practice makes perfect. To keep with the romance genre, I also got In the Weeds and Mixed Signals. These are both from the Lovelight Farms series by B.K. Boyerson. I really liked Lovelight Farms. It was a 4-star for me, but I'm even more excited for these, especially the covers. I'm a flower girl. I love romance. And one is about a grumpy farmer and a no-nonsense social media influencer, and the other is a small-town baker learns to raise her expectations for love with some help of a handsome local teacher. And I just really liked the whole community aspect of the Lovelight Farms book, so I'm excited to read these and continue on in the series. I have the Book of the Month subscription, and I so far have really enjoyed it. I've had it for over a year now, and even if there's something that I don't think I would like, to me it's a fun way to break out of my genre. But this isn't really the case with this book. I got Dragon Fruit by Micaiah Lucier. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but the cover is so pretty. And when I read the synopsis for it, I instantly was like, yep, I need to try this out. Just a little bit of the snippet says, in the tales, it is written the egg of a sea dragon, dragon fruit, holds within its power to undo a person's greatest sorrow. But as with all the things that offer hope when hope is gone, the tale comes with a warning. Every wish demands a price. So the fact that this seems like a tropical dragon fantasy, I can't wait. I really can't wait. And what better time to get to this as the summer? If I told you that I bought this book because of the synopsis only, I would be lying. Gothicana just spoke to me when I was at Barnes & Noble. How can it not? Isn't that just like a gorgeous looking book? And my friend Elise from Literally Elise said that she loved it. So I went back and picked it up because it was one I kept looking at. I mean, look at this. Do you see that? 2 books that I got because I have heard the best things about were Belladonna and Foxglove by Adeline Grace. And I already read Belladonna and I devoured it. And I've heard Foxglove is even better. The 3rd book, Wisteria, is coming out sometime this year. Belladonna is such a unique spin on a dark romance, and I just loved everything about it. I loved the writing style. I loved the concept, the pictures it painted in my mind as I read it. So if you've been wanting to read it, I highly recommend it. The best part about getting these books, which I did not expect to happen, was I got the special edition covers that they're no longer making. And I literally am obsessed. I am so thankful I was able to get this edition. This Foxglove edition is like this too. I'm immersed. I'm in love. I cannot wait to see if I like Foxglove as much as Belladonna. But I'm guessing I will, because it is truly haunting and magical. you may not know, based on those picks thus far, that I actually really like thrillers and mystery and suspenseful books too. And from Book of the Month, I got Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. And I also got Kill for Me, Kill for You, Steve Cavanna. I have also really heard mixed things about both of these books, but to me, they both sounded really compelling. The main reason I bought this book was because it was put out by Red Tower, and I have really enjoyed all of Red Tower's books I have read so far. And then when they put the effort into this kind of cover and sprayed edges and inlay, I know that they must really think a lot about this book. So that's why I bought it. It's a fantasy book. It says let the best liar win. It is about a king who must die, and the 5 most dangerous liars in the land have been mysteriously summoned to work together for a single objective: to kill the god king June. In just reading the synopsis, I knew I really wanted to get into it. It says, the king of Yusan must die. The 5 most dangerous liars in the land have been mysteriously summoned to work together for a single objective: to kill the god king June. He has it coming. Under his merciless, immortal hand, the nobles flourish while the poor and innocent are imprisoned, ruined, or sold. And now each of the 5 blades will come for him. Each has tasted bitterness from the hired hitman seeking atonement, a lovely assassin who seeks freedom, or even the prince banished for his cruel crimes. None can resist the sweet, icy lure of vengeance. They can agree on murder, they can agree on treachery. But for these 5 killers, each verse in deception, lies, and betrayal, it's not enough to forge an alliance. To survive, they'll have to find a way to trust each other, but only one can take the crown. Let the best liar win. I really can't wait to read this. It sounds like it is going to be a wild ride, and it's going to be a good one. To also go off of Red Tower killing it with their books is Heavenbreaker by Sarah Wolf. Y'all, these books are killing me, and just to have them on my shelf, I feel honored. I feel honored to have them on my shelf. This is the inserts of Heavenbreaker. I love the blue and gold together. Heavenbreaker says, the Duke of the powerful house of Hauteclaire is the first to die, with my dagger in his back. He didn't see it coming, didn't anticipate the bastard daughter who was supposed to die with her mother on his order. He should have left us with the rest of the station starving commoner rubbish. Now there's nothing left, just icy white rage and a need to make House Hauteclaire pay. Every damn one of them. This one sounds like it might be a little vulgar, so if you don't like swearing, this might not be for you, but language doesn't bother me. Even if it means riding Heavenbreaker, one of the few enormous machines left from over the war, and jousting against the fiercest nobles in the system. Each win means another one of my enemies dies, and here in the cold terror of space, the machine and I move as one, intent on destroying each adversary, even if it's someone I care about, even if it's someone I'm falling for. Only I'm not alone, not anymore, because there's something in the machine with me, something horrifying, something more, and it won't be stopped. I am so curious about this. It also says, I cannot stop death, but I can make it think twice. This just sounds so epic. Typically, I am not like a spacey type girl, but I am starting to become in my Star Wars era and a little bit more of sci-fi. So I'm really curious to see how this like truly fits into the fantasy realm of things. Also from Book of the Month, I got The Paradise Problems by Christina Lauren. I really enjoy Christina Lauren's books. Some of them I absolutely love and some of them I like. But this one, the cover just seems so happy, and I just want a good summer romance. So I've got this right away because it was a book of the month pick, but I've since seen people read it and review it, and so far they've been really positive, which makes me happy, even though I try not to let other people's opinions sway mine. But it's always nice when people are saying good things about a book. It really makes you want to read them more. I picked this one for my book of the month because it sounded up my alley when it is a new romance between the button-up heir of a grocery chain and a free-spirited artist as they fake their relationship in order to receive a massive inheritance. As an artist myself, I personally appeal to that type of character, and fake dating is a trope I do enjoy. So I can't wait to get to this and see how it all turns out. I saved the best for last. And this book really doesn't need an introduction at all, or it needs the biggest introduction because it is all over the internet and it has good reason. I have not read it. It is one that I will for sure read, and I think it's probably like number one on my list for my summer TBR. I cannot wait to let this book just devour my soul. And if you couldn't guess what it might be, it's Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. This is her third book of this series. You don't have to read them, but I highly recommend reading Part of Your World and Yours Truly, which were both 5-star books for me. But I have heard only amazing things about this book. I have heard that if you've never read Abby Jimenez, that you need to read the other two, which I highly recommend anyways, but you need to read it for this book, and it will consume your soul and just be a part of you, and I cannot wait. I have recently read The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez, which is part of like her Backlist series, and I read it in one day. I bawled. I cried. I have loved every single book by Abby Jimenez. She is, I think, easily my favorite romance author. And the best part about this book is it's got summer vibes. It's got romance. It's got complicated family dynamics. So maybe look into triggers because Abby knows how to cut deep into your soul. It goes without saying, I can't wait for this book. Thank you so much for watching and sticking through the end. If you could leave a comment or just even an emoji so I know that you watched it all the way, it really means a lot to me. And if you haven't already liked and subscribed to my channel, it would truly, truly be the best thing ever. I am so thankful for you guys, and I hope one of these books sparks something within you and you find your next 5-star read. Bye guys, see you next time.